Hey, what is up, stud stackers? It's me again. Welcome to today's video. I know it's been a while. Quick apology for that, but regardless, we have a special video for you guys today. Today, I'm going to be putting together, as the title says, a massive custom Lego model, which is the Minifigure scale MTT. If you guys are curious, this is the model that you can get the instructions on BrickVualt.toys. The designer, CalebRicks, is a fantastic designer, and looking forward to building this thing. So excited. Now, I want to clarify, this is the rendition from the Phantom Menace, so this is not the gray and blue one. This is the specific, like, brown, gray, and black one that, again, we see in Phantom Menace. My initial reaction to getting this is, I know Lego's done a handful of sets, and don't get me wrong, they're cool. I even like the new one, minus the price. But regardless, I'm super excited to get building on this thing. Something that I'm super excited about this video is I've been kind of toying it with the last couple months and trying to figure out what I want to do and seeking help. Got a couple ideas, and I'm super excited to go through the video, giving you guys facts about the MTT itself, giving facts about the design of the model, as well as just different fun little tidbits that you may not know. So I'm super excited. I'm going to have a time lapse and going into certain details about how the model's going, or my favorite portions of the video. So super excited to get onto that. And I'm just gonna let you know right now, it's gonna be a long process of a build, because I can tell you right now, it has been a while since I have had anything this large to put together that wasn't just a large scale mod. So it's probably gonna be a few days, maybe a week, who knows. But I'm super excited to get building. If you're curious as to why I'm building a minifig scale MTT, well, stay tuned in the video, because I have some exciting things to be sharing in today's video. Other than that, if you guys are excited, definitely hit that like button. I know, well, that fell. Well, I'm super excited regardless, so if you're enjoying the video, definitely hit the like button, as well as let's get right on today's video. Alright guys, so starting off the video, I went ahead and cleared off the table that we were going to be building on. Obviously, with a big build such as the MTT, as you guys just saw the parts, it's going to be a big project. So with that being said, I of course need a bigger working space. So my little desk that I usually, spend my building custom models on isn't going to really cut it out this time. So what we've got is a just standard white Costco or Walmart table. You can get them from either of those stores. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking those cups, I'm going to be filling up these parts and sitting this whole table set up with this massive build to come. And yeah, right now it is nice having a clean slate, but I think it's time to go ahead and messy it up by loading it with parts. So let's go see what that looks like. Alright, so the blank canvas is taken care of. Now it is completely covered by different parts. As you can see, everything's for the most part sorted, or at least as much as it's going to be getting sorted for this build. I got to the point where I kept dumping out bags, and I'm like, okay, this is getting a little crazy. But as you can see, I've got the instructions pulled up on my tablet right here. So this is going to be such a long build to do. But super excited to get started on that. Yeah, this is kind of how I have everything sorted right now, and how I kind of go through building these custom models, whether it be big or small. This thing comes in handy. I got this at BrickVualt like a year or so ago. It comes super in handy when I'm building these custom models, especially when they're small. Obviously, once it gets to this size, I have to upgrade to little cups. As you can tell, some things are, full enough of their own separate parts, like these plates. As you can see, everything's kind of separated. But obviously, once it gets to certain parts, you just kind of mix it and kind of go for, like, it's all the same part. It's just a different color. So that's kind of how I've set it right here. Some things are just still laid on the table. That's all right. Just ran out of cups, and most of it's not large quantity, so it's not so bad. But I am super excited. Obviously, huge shout out to BrickVualt real quick for not only sponsoring the collaboration that is currently in the works between Richboyjhae and myself, So I'm super excited about that. But huge shout out to BrickVualt, David. He did a huge gesture by lending us a bunch of really awesome instructions, including, of course, the MTT and a couple other vehicles you'll see down the road, which I'm super excited to showcase. But regardless, huge shout out to BrickVualt. If you guys are curious or if you want to get instructions like the MTT yourself, a link in the description will be there. But yeah, there's so many awesome builds on there, and I'm so excited to continue building these. So with that being said, we are starting the long process to come of building this, and we're going to jump right into a time lapse. Alright guys, so we're getting into the time lapse now, and I'm trying out something new than I usually do. I've been seeing more and more from current LEGO YouTubers or just content creators. It's something I wanted to incorporate into my videos as well because I really like it. Previously, I obviously had these time lapses just be, you know, short, quick, and just music playing in the background. But something that I've noticed is these content creators adding in a little bit of information as well as just some fun facts about the model or whatever they're working on. So something I really wanted to incorporate into my future videos. So with that being said, I have a couple facts obviously from the model itself. If you were curious, you can get these instructions for the model of the MTT or many other awesome builds and custom models, whether it be minifig scale or even just non-Star Wars models. They've got a bunch, but you can get them all at BrickVualt.toys. There's so many different and awesome creations on that website. Again, I mentioned it before, but huge shout out to David and BrickVualt for sponsoring the collaboration that myself and Richboyjhae are currently setting up and looking forward to displaying at next year's BrickWorld Chicago. So with that being said, I can get into some facts about the MTT. This model can house about 4 or 5 droids in the cockpit, which obviously you'll see later in the video. Those are for the pilots that, you know, work and control the machine and moving it into battle. Now, this also can hold up to 48 folded droids, which obviously is the little contraption that shoots the droids out. They pull out, obviously you see in the Phantom Menace as well as in the Clone Wars. It has a function, and you guys will see later that it pretty much unloads and then the battle droids drop into position. Super awesome feature, really loving it. But you can fit 48 of those droids in that storage rack, which is just insanely cool and just an insane amount of droids. So moving on, again, this model, its price range obviously varies from Bricklink seller to seller. I got lucky and had about 64% of the parts on hand prior to buying any parts for this model. But Bricklink.com prices it about $850 to about $1,050. Now to clarify, that is with the droids. If you're just buying the entire model and then the 48 to 52 droids that are needed for the model. Now, if you're wanting to get it without the droids, just the model like I did, it's going to be between $775 to $850. Obviously, still a huge price, but compared to, say, the UCS Falcon, AAT, the Sail Barge, and obviously the new Death Star, these large models definitely make sense to be priced at such a high, you know, count, just due to the fact that there are a lot of parts, and plus a lot of these custom models do tend to have a lot of, you know, detail, and more detail that I feel like some of the Lego sets can have. So again, before ordering these parts, and again this goes for any model at all, I recommend always going through your own part collection to see if you can find any useful parts that you can just use instead of having to buy it, and it will significantly drop the price, whether it be only a couple of dollars or a couple $100. I know I only spent a little over $350 on this model, which obviously still pretty expensive, but over a couple month span, and again, having over half of the parts on hand, I'll take it. I think it's such a worthwhile purchase. Now the parts included, I want to say there's about 7,566 including the droids, and 7,326 without the droids. So obviously, you know, including the droid parts into that build, it does rack it up an extra 200 parts. But without that,
it's still 7,300 pieces that is used in this model, which is pretty insane. The dimensions and length is 62 centimeters by 79 centimeters with the rack out. Width is 24 centimeters and 27 centimeters, and height is 27 centimeters high. So it is just an insanely large build, and again, as you guys can see on the camera, it is just a large build, and I'll be comparing it to another BrickVualt AAT tank shortly, so you guys can kind of see what dimensions I'm looking at. Alright, so getting into the collaboration talk, and I think this is probably the most exciting part about the video. It is obviously the main reason I'm putting together a minifig scale MTT, but it is the collaboration that Richboyjhae and myself are partaking and setting up. He and I have been heading this collaboration for the last few months now and getting design work and ideas and getting some of the best creators, builders that we can, that is going to be partaking in this collaboration, because it is such a massive project that we need as many hands as possible to fulfill this masterpiece of a project. Now, this total size of the mock is going to be 6 gray base plates wide by 32 gray base plates long. Now, obviously, the gray base plates I'm talking about are the 48 by 48 stud gray base plates you can go and get at Walmart, Costco, Target, wherever. It's just the standard base plate that we use, but it is fairly large, and it is a 32 gray base plate long mock, which is insane. Now, Jay has done plenty of large scale building, and obviously I've done some, not to the same scale, but we are both very confident that we'll be getting this done and fully displayed at BrickVualt Chicago 2026. Now, with that being said, we do have a lot of awesome builders on hand that is partaking in this collaboration, who are taking on sections, taking on vehicles, and getting excited as we are to actually showcase this model at next year's BrickWorld. So that is in itself is super excited. I think we're up to over 10 collaborators that are partaking, whether they're building a small section, a big section, or just making some vehicles. There's one guy in our group that's putting together the red Jedi shuttle that lands in Naboo at the end of the movie, that's carrying the Chancellor and all the Jedi, and that is just going to be so exciting to see. Now, obviously, again, I've mentioned before that BrickVualt is sponsoring this collaboration. He and a couple other awesome groups that are sponsoring this collaboration that are just going to make it one of the, if not the best, Star Wars projects brought to life. Now, that being said, again, huge shout out to BrickVualt for sponsoring and sending us a bunch of really awesome models that was seen in the Phantom Menace, including this MTT, the AAT tank, the Naboo starfighter, as well as plenty others. So this mock itself is not only just going to be a masterpiece of a build, we're going to be incorporating so many awesome custom vehicles, including 3 or 4 of these minifig scale MTTs. Like, this one is just big enough, and we're going to have like 3 more. That's insane. So, not to mention the fact that we have like 8 or 9 different AAT tanks, different speeders, about 20 Naboo starfighters. It's just going to be insane. So I'm super excited to fully announce this. All the guys that are partaking are also posting on Instagram and YouTube, and all of us are going to be sharing it around to showcase the love and excitement for this project. And obviously, if you guys are interested, stay tuned, because like myself and others, we have plenty of content coming down the road that is going to be showcasing this awesome model that's to come. So if you guys want to see more, definitely stay tuned on the channel or Instagram, because we have so much to showcase here soon. So the MTT is now complete. As you guys can see, this behemoth of a custom model is done, or at least almost done. As you can see, we'll get to that in a second. But regardless, the whole build is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed the time lapse and information that came with it. This total of the build took about, I want to say, a week and a half to build. I do want to clarify, and you probably noticed through the jump cuts from the time lapse, that this obviously didn't get built in one go. Obviously, I have work and responsibilities and time with my family, so something this big definitely took longer for me than probably some of you guys that might be able to just knock this out in one day or one night. But it was a insanely epic build. Again, it's been a while since I built anything to this scale for quite some time, and obviously this thing it's just immaculate when it comes to details, as well as a couple of the play features, which are really, really cool. Huge shout out again to David or BrickVualt for sponsoring this collaboration that we're getting into, and I'll share some more information here in a second, as well as the designer Caleb did a phenomenal job on this masterpiece of a custom model, something that I'd never really expected to have in my collection, and now I'm really happy to have it built in front of me. So a couple of the features, obviously, we have this little panel that comes down. It actually has a little cart. It is the same exact design on the opposite side. It's a mirrored image. So what's here is also on the opposite side. It just slides in, close that up, good to go. You have this top portion, can't really see on top, but you got some battle droids just popped in there, and this just plops on. This is what I was meaning though, that it is technically complete. I have to color change a couple of these parts. They're all supposed to be just the reddish brown, and somehow I miscalculated, or I was missing parts. I don't understand how. Definitely frustrating. So I had to improvise with other color parts that I had on hand, but for sure this will be changed to the reddish brown, and then most likely these parts, and that just sits on top of there. Obviously, if you want to pick this up, take this panel off, and just under here there's a little Technic piece that connects it to the frame, so it makes it a little bit easier to lift up, which is obviously nice because this thing's got some heavy weight. But obviously the main feature, and I'm going to back this up a little bit because this thing is massive, is obviously turning this mechanism and the chute popping out. Definitely really cool. I wish I could say I had the entire carrier full of battle droids going into battle, but unfortunately I do not. So, kind of make do with what I have, and that's okay. So for now, I've got some of the battle droids. I don't know where my main collection is. It's just something I'll have to find, but obviously it closes up. And again, the amount of detail that Caleb was able to get into this design is just insane. Obviously on the opposite side it is just a mirrored version, apart from like a couple different nougat and dark gray parts just mixed in for greebling. But even just the bottom portion, the front, moving on to the back, the greebling is just insane, and the detail of this model just, again, is immaculate. So taking a look at the inside, this is pretty much the main interior portion. You can fit about 5 of these battle droids. Obviously I have the pilot version of the battle droid, and there's just different consoles, different things that they're working on to make this interior as epic as possible. Alright guys, so before I end out the video, I just want to give you one final look at the MTT fully built, as well as compared to the AAT custom tank right there as well. But again, huge shout out to Caleb on such a masterful design. This thing is just insane with the detail, the size, and overall just presence of custom vehicles, and I'm just thoroughly impressed. So huge shout out to Caleb, as well as shout out to David from BrickVualt. I want to give a huge thank you to him for sponsoring this collaboration that myself and Richboyjhae are currently setting up to be displayed next year at BrickVualt Chicago. We are doing a massive Naboo, Invasion of Naboo collaboration that will be showcasing not only this, along like 2 or 3 other minifig scale MTTs, as well as many other vehicles that you're going to be seeing down the road, as well as just an insanely large build. We've got about 12 people involved right now, so if you're excited and want to see that, definitely stay tuned. A bunch of the guys are posting on Instagram and YouTube, so we're going to be sharing that all around as the collaboration continues. So next time you guys are going to be seeing this beauty, other than maybe a couple other videos, but stay tuned for that, is going to be in that large collaboration of an invasion of Naboo. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, definitely smash the like button, as well as if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe. I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things. I've got some really awesome stuff in the works, as well as some new changes to the channel that I'm hoping to go over well. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoy and have a wonderful day. I'll catch you stud stackers in the next one. Bye.